Mayor Todd Gloria says Balboa Park parking fees will remain in effect despite new backlash asking for him to pause the plan. In a statement, Mayor Gloria said, quote, "What we will not do is reverse course days into implementation in a way that undermines fiscal stability, creates uncertainty, and sends the message that addressing a decades-old structural budget deficit that has plagued our city is optional because it is politically uncomfortable," end quote. The mayor added that his administration will continue to collect feedback to make improvements and expand public education on the parking system. This is in response to Council President Pro Tem Kent Lee and Councilmember Sean Ella Rivera's request to the city to waive fees for residents until key problems with the system are addressed. They state that San Diegans were not clearly informed on how residents would get their discount or that discounted passes would not be available in person. Joining us now to talk about the latest on the Balboa Park paid parking situation and how some council members are pushing to pause it is AM 600 KOGO radio host Mark Larson.
That's right, and chairman of the board at the San Diego Air and Space Museum, so we got some skin in the game here. And I was thinking about this just in the last hour. SpaceX launched another flawless Falcon 9 rocket, and about 5:49 we could see it off of the coast and just beautifully harmonized. That's not how this parking deal rolled out last Monday. It has been in many ways a disaster, even though the mayor is saying, you know, there's a lot of politics, let's stick with the program. And I understand he's right when he talks about a structural deficit problem that has been there for decades. In other words, it's very bipartisan. It's not just him or this current council. There are a lot of authors to this. The problem is when this thing gets rolled out, when there's public opposition, and they do it anyway. And I was down at the park last Monday, and went over to the museum, and I'm trying to monitor what's going on here. The people we saw signing up, the people I saw, anecdotally, but I saw a lot of them, people coming in from out of state. Not people, because, you know, remember this whole thing, the way this is worded is, if you're a San Diego resident, you get a discount, but that's San Diego City, but not if you're in Coronado or Del Mar or what have you. So if you're watching this, you guys are talking about parking again, there's some new twists, because now it's rolled out. And you've got some rumbling that you mentioned with some of the council members who are now going, well, I didn't know I was voting for this. Well, maybe pay attention earlier than to come back. And what Kent Lee and Sean Ella Rivera want to do is revise it, put a pause on it, give San Diego residents a chance to have a little more time to get their passes. The system was down, at least the time I was down there last Monday, so that's going on. The people I'm seeing who are actually just going, oh, Augustin's paid parking, again, are getting out of state cars, because I would see some of them. A lot of confusion over that. It's not enough to just say, let's revise this. The bottom line is, again, there's been no admission fee for the park. I know this is a different kind of a fee, and that's how they're getting around it. But for 111 plus years, it's not the way the park was intended to be. So there's a lot to be said for going back, finding additional savings. And I know everybody at City Hall says, we've looked. Now, there are other pet programs that can be changed. The other thing is, fewer people can go to the park. The mayor says last week that on the first 2 days, there were 1,500 people who signed up for the pass, which is what you have to do online, the one that wasn't working last Monday, and you got the 2-day lag too. So if you want to go today, and you have to do it on the app, which is ironic because some of the same city council members didn't like digital coupons because they were exclusive. Now they're forcing people to the app. That's a separate aside. So the mayor said 1,500 people signed up, and they brought in, I think it was $123,000 from other, you know, passes in the park and their share of things. The city itself on the san diego.gov website cites 14 million visitors to Balboa Park a year. So that is like a little bit of a not real consequential. So is it time to go back and check this out again? Yeah. Was it rushed through? Yes. Part of that's on the council side. But now you've got Whitburn on the council, Raul Campillo, Vivian Moreno. They voted against this thing in the first place, but the other six said, no, let's hurry up and do it. And then it's rolled out the way it is, nowhere near the money they thought they would get. So there's merit for a pause, hold it. Hopefully, you know, Campillo and Whitburn were both on our show on Conway and Larson on KOGO last week, and they're both saying, let's just repeal it.
Yeah, I'm encouraged by Whitburn. A quote from him, I think there's a real possibility that we'll get to the point where we could repeal paid parking in public park.
Well, yeah.
That's the voice of reason right there. He should get together with him. They should all go bowling or something.
They should.
Let's talk about it.
We would set that up. I would be happy to lead the way on
Yes.
that. And Jim Kidrick and I go down from the museum. We'll put on bowling shirts. Jim wears them all the time anyway. He looks great on. But there's another twist that came up on this, and we haven't talked about this as much here on KUSI, but we've talked about it a lot within San Diego Air and Space Museum, because the museum with Kidrick as CEO have been really leading the way on this. The whole issue of safety, because you've got volunteers and you have docents, you have employees. News came out yesterday that an unnamed donor for the Natural History Museum is going to cover for a year all of the parking for their employees and their volunteers. Now, why is that? And I'm sure City Hall thinks that's the way to do it. That's really nice. Well, again, we wouldn't have to do this. You could give that money to other museum programs in that case instead of this if we didn't have this. There's an element of safety there, because you can't just have the volunteers or employees park way away where the dumping ground at Inspiration Point over towards San Diego High School, where that's the cheapest place, what have you, and that's going to get overloaded if people really start figuring this out. So the different entities in the park have a problem, and a potential problem if you have an employee who has to park farther away and there's more effort. State law comes into play, and all of a sudden you may have to pay for the time that an employee gets out of their car to go to work. That budget busts the thing and then creates new problems. So again, the city hasn't, well, they've heard a lot of this. They had public comment at city council meetings that was overwhelmingly negative to having this at all. And I know, the mayor, with all due respect, and the mayor's going to be on with us a week from Tuesday. Chief Scott Wall's going to be on radio with us on Tuesday this week. We'll talk about enforcement. They have a grace period now, of course, for the first month. That sort of evolved, and they weren't making a big deal about that last Monday. But a lot of unintended consequences. They originally budgeted $15 million, or then they said maybe $11 million. It's already in the budget. That's halfway through already, fiscal 26. So that's part of the reason why the mayor is digging in his heels on this. I understand that. But they've done other stuff. They spend a lot of money on a lot of things. I'd like to see a top-to-bottom audit on many things. I think they could find the money and make San Diego happy.
It's just such a bad look for the city.
Well, then there's
enough
vandalism.
bad looks. It's just charging. It's a public park.
We're hearing from people, single moms. We had one call in the other day on the show on Kogo, talking about how difficult it was. How she would use the park for her kids when that was their entertainment, like so many do.
Yeah,
you can't just be tone deaf on that, and you can't just say, well, the way we'll mitigate that is we'll give lower income people or single moms or whatever, we'll give them a break. Well, they're still paying. That's a huge amount of money proportionally. So,
all right.
The story is yet to be concluded.
Mark Larson, you hear him on AM 600 Kogo. What time does your show start?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Monday through Friday.
All
6
right.
to 8. Yep.
Check him out. Thanks, Mark.